I mean, it's my biggest, it's by far the biggest thing I've ever done, and it's also the thing I'm most passionate about in the world. I mean, I spend every moment of free time is dedicated towards this project now, and it will require that for the next 7 months to make sure that Act One releases properly. So all my money, all my time and attention and care is going to this thing. And I hope they are. I hope they crack down hard. I hope all these systems put things in place to like protect some human-made product. It's such a useful tool, but it's so dangerous. Like in my head, should we get rid of it?
Peter, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
Good, man. Thanks for having me a fourth or fifth time.
Yeah, absolutely. What'd you say? Institution of the show now.
That's what it is.
For those listening who haven't seen any of the other episodes of that Peter's been on, we kind of went through the origin story. Although at this point, I think your career is a little bit different than it was as of the
Hmm.
first time that we
Hmm.
spoke, which was, geez, must 4 years now or something like that.
Hmm.
But do you want to do a quick intro for the people? Kind of tell them who you are and what you do, and then we'll hop into the rest of it.
Yeah. What's up, everyone? I'm Peter Barber. I think when I first came on this show, my primary focus was opera, which I still do professionally. It just looks a little different now. But otherwise, I produce music, I write music, I sing professionally, and I've gotten more into songwriting and composition lately, which has come to a head with me writing a 30-song original concept album about Achilles and the Trojan War, which is a lot of what I'm working on now, and I'm sure we'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. The question from the last guest, uh, what is your superpower and how can you use it to change the world?
Mm. Oh, that's great. I am extremely logical and like even keeled and calm when big crises arise. Which is not a power I was born with, but it's a power I've trained. And I feel like I'm able to use that every day in the music world, which is full of these wonderful, beautiful, volatile people. And so I think I have a way of approaching music and creating music where I can use the part of my brain that's really creative, but also really bring a lot of logic to the decision making, which I think is one reason why Melody of War is going well so far, for example. But I think that's it. I think my unique combination of logic and creativity have come together to be a superpower.
Talk about how, when you say you trained it and you weren't born with it, talk about how, like, what do you mean by that? Because I've heard a lot,
Um,
there's a lot of people, to your point about music being filled with wonderfully, beautifully
they are.
volatile
It is.
people.
It really is.
You
Yeah.
find that in a lot of the creative sort of industry types, whether it's
Hmm.
music or other kinds of art or storytelling or any of these things. Um, and so oftentimes, at least kind of the analogy that I always use was like find a creative to come up with the idea for the business and then find a logical person to run the business.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
what do you like? How did you figure out that? Was there a moment that you figured out that you needed to develop this kind that
Um,
side of
it,
you? And then how did you do it?
It was just kind of I've been on a long personal development journey probably for the last 10 or 12 years. And it started just with meditation, just daily meditation, sitting in silence, like learning how to organize your thoughts. And then for the last few years, it's been a lot of reading books on it and listening to podcasts on it, consuming stuff all about how to like cultivate a productive and efficient mind, um, learning, like intentionally trying to be non-reactive in a lot of situations, whether it's from like an inflammatory comment online or it's from like an actual, so like it's something that happens in real life, and just like being able to take a second and step back before you let your emotions come in and like force you to make a quick rash decision. It's all about just like giving yourself a little space. And I wouldn't say it's terribly hard to do, but I would say it takes a while to do it, and you do have to be thinking about it a lot. Like you have to be thinking if something goes wrong, the first thought can't be like jump into this and figure it out immediately. It has to be take a step back, give it a second, let it breathe. And so it's just like I mean, it's just like working a muscle, but it's a lot of that kind of thing.
Would you have considered yourself as like hot-headed prior? Or
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah, I mean, well, definitely in like middle school and high school, I think I was calming down in college. a little bit, but I was like a pretty classic, like arrogant jockey person, especially in middle school. And then high school, a little better, but still kind of in everyone's face about athletics and stuff like that. Um, I think a lot of people, if they met me now, they'd be like, wow, you've like really, really chilled out.
I had a not too dissimilar scenario in college. One of my roommates was like, "Hey, you got to stop with the athletic stuff. Like nobody cares." And I was like, "Yeah, that's probably true." And that was kind of that's a little bit of a different scenario than maybe the one that you were mentioning because I was never really hot-headed
Mm,
in that way, but just well, when you're growing up and you have no self-awareness because you're
yeah,
18 or whatever, and you think you know everything because you're not 12 anymore, but you still don't know anything.
yeah,
And then you turn 25 and you're like, wow, I didn't know anything when I was 18. And then you turn 30 or whatever, and you're like, wow,
$32.
you're 32 now. Ah, damn, old.
I know.
Um, and you're like, damn, I didn't know anything when I was 25
It's
either.
true. It's true.
Um, yeah, it's interesting. I think a lot of I don't know. Actually, tell me what you think about this because there's some kids that I coach that have this self-awareness and abundance already, and they're like 12, 13, 14. And then there's other ones that just don't at all. And I don't know, like, I guess you're interacting with people for your performances from, I think, a variety of age ranges and stuff. How have you found that because there's at least in my anecdotal experience, there's a thing that goes around and be like, the kids these days have no self-awareness. And I'm like, well, a lot of people don't have any self-awareness.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Hmm.
Have you found it different I feel like it's more apt to show up in like the entertainment industry, that sort of thing. And has that made you kind of have you observed that? And I'm not really sure exactly where I'm going with that, but
Yeah.
I've had some from like some performers on and be like, "Hey, how have you dealt with these sorts of personalities and
Hmm.
things like
Hmm.
that?" And oftentimes you get like total opposite ends of the spectrum where it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this person's amazing," or this person is like really not
Yeah, I
great.
mean, I see it and I see the spectrum in every field that I've been in, whether it's athletics or personal training or a specific sport or it's opera singers versus music producers. I would say people who really feel the call to the spotlight and want to be on stage performing generally have bigger ups and downs than the people who want to be like producing or writing and kind of out of the spotlight, like creating things that a lot of people will hear but not being like directly related to it. Whereas like uh, some of my most wonderful friends in the opera world, like I said, just beautiful people. But man, I mean, they go so high and so low based on performances or what's happening, and that's something all performers struggle with because I mean, it's in the neuroscience that you get like a bunch of dopamine if you're on stage performing, and you get like norepinephrine and all these things, and you're gonna have a come down from that. But there's a way to come down where you just kind of accept it and you're like, okay, I'm just going to be a little flat today because I had this performance last night. And then there's the other side of it where it's like, I'm going to be in a deep, dark depression until my next performance. And it's like, you don't want to be in the latter of those two. And I see it.
Have you dealt with that yourself? Is that part of what the meditation has helped with? Because I think I would class you as somewhere in the middle where like you're on stage a lot, but also you're doing
Hmm.
and like you're on stage and you're on social media and stuff, but also
Yeah.
you like producing and you like some of the other stuff, the behind the scenes type
Hmm.
stuff as well.
I'm
So
definitely
how's that
prone.
been for you?
I'm definitely prone to it. It is something I've worked on. Like just what I mentioned ago, like the reframing of like, okay, today's going to be a down day because yesterday was big and awesome and exciting. Having that reframing is just a really that's another tool, just a tool for the toolkit. It's like if you can reframe situations, that changes everything. But yeah, I mean, in periods where you go from like tech week, where you're up late at night under the lights rehearsing and then you're doing that night after night, and then you go straight into a run of shows, and it's this big up and down swing. Like there's no way to totally defeat it because it's in your, like I said, it's in the neurochemistry that's going on in your brain. But I like the balance I'm at now more, where I have longer periods of not having the up and down, and then you can kind of jump into it for a production with the framing of like, okay, it's going to be like this for a little while, and I'm choosing to do it, and then like I'm going to accept what comes with it, and then I'm back to the kind of just in the studio work. Yeah,
Does gym stuff help you with that as well? Like as a baselining for yourself?
I think so. That's been a consistent in my life, probably longer than anything, is some kind of fitness. And it's yeah, I mean, it's still like that. That's the first recommendation I will give to someone if they're like, I've been feeling down or I've been feeling anxious. It's like just start going to the gym. And that's like the best possible place to start for a bunch of reasons. And I still feel, even though I'm so used to it and accustomed to it now, I still feel it. Like just yesterday, I was like feeling pretty, no, 2 days ago, I was just having like I'm also off caffeine right now. I came off caffeine like 4 or 5 days ago, so I'm in like the caffeine crash just to reset my tolerance. That's another good tool. And so I was like, I really do not feel at all like going to the gym right now. Like I worked in the morning and I was crashed in the afternoon, but I went and then like leaving the gym, I was like, man, I feel way better because I like pushed through the workout. So like that shows mental resilience and you get the juices flowing and that has a lot of like real in your body kind of changes. So yeah, dude, the gym is top tier, top recommendation.
Yeah, I feel that for sure. Like, if I'm not in the gym, even if I'm training for like doing soccer practice and games and stuff, if I'm not in the gym at least once or twice in between those,
Hmm.
like I feel it for sure. And that's why being injured always sucks because you can't train with your teammates, and then your only thing is the gym, but you can't do what you normally would do, and you're stuck doing like these in your head at the time, like, oh, I can only do resistance band stuff today. Blah. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
um.
It's you don't think about it until you can't do something, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, Caffeine crash. Oh, I'm definitely not on a caffeine crash right now.
Are you
Um,
peak caffeine intake?
yeah, 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 yeah. Um,
What's your dosage? What do you drink per day, or what do you consume per day?
so well, it depends, right? So there are some days where I can go without it, and other days I feel like it's a habit, and some there's not really a rhyme or reason. Um,
Wow. So there are days you just don't have caffeine.
yeah, if I'm like
That's
up and
wild.
doing like if I'm very busy and I need it when I'm bored. And like I want to go to and
Totally.
like I want to take a nap during the day, like during the work day or something. Then I'll have some. But like if I'm super busy that day, like I'll go in a entire day and be like, "Oh, I didn't drink whatever this was." And I used to drink more Celsius and then I kind of have been off that because I wanted to lower it. And so I've been using Jocko Fuel, Jocko Willing.
Oh,
Um
nice, nice. I
He's
haven't
got
tried it, but
stuff, and there's like L-theanine and some other like nootropic type stuff in there,
hmm.
and it's half as much as a Celsius.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
I mean, they taste great. They're more expensive, which is kind of like, so it's kind of a,
I love the nootropic stuff though. It's
yeah,
great.
yeah, 100%. And they're more expensive, so I kind of have to be either wait for them to go on sale, like they went on sale for Prime Day, and I was like, grabbing
Oh
four
my God,
cases
I got
immediately.
so much stuff on Prime Day.
Yeah, you have to. I was like, 4 cases have to. Um, but yeah, so over the
That's
course
cool.
of a day, and I
Yeah,
also don't drink it right when I wake up. Like my first
good.
caffeine will be at like 10 or 11 usually. And then
That's great.
and then because I'm up late for trainings and soccer, like between 11 to like 2 and 3 is when I consume it. And
That's
then,
a very healthy caffeine window, actually.
yeah. So I try and do it that way. And well, part of that is because when I wake up, like I said, it's like I'm getting ready to go do stuff. So I'm not thinking about it. And then it's always midday when I'm just like, okay, I've done all the things I needed to do in the morning. And
Hmm.
now I have very little to do until I'm running trainings and at practice, which that window is like 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. And
Hmm.
so that middle window, my day, like my energy levels are weird because very busy in the morning where I get a lot of stuff done. And then that time period from like noon to 3 when I'm doing work for my day job, it's like the more monotonous stuff, responding to emails, meeting invites, like the stuff that I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this right now.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
signing people's time cards or doing this and that. It's just like, do I have to do this right now? But you
Yeah.
do, of course. And then it's like once that's done, it's like in the car on the way to coach, and then energy's back up because I like doing it, and
Yeah.
you're outside in the sun
Yeah.
and the weather, and kids are being nuts, and
Hmm.
It's good. And then you go from there to my own team practice, which then at that point, it's tough to end the day on a very competitive like battle like that, where there's like 25 dudes that are like high
Hmm.
level and you come home at 11:30 and you're still amped
Yeah.
because you
Tough
just
to fall
smashed some
asleep.
guy on the soccer field and then it's like,
Hmm.
okay, yeah, go to bed. It's like, that's my brain's still on, man.
Yeah, yeah. I
So it's weird, but
I feel you on this caffeine like getting off for the last week or so has been particularly hard this time because I'm home alone, you know.
mm,
And so like just having to fight through it when it's so like it's right there. Like my coffee machine's right there. You know, it's like it'd be so easy, but I know it'll be good for me long term. I did it also in Aspen last summer, and I was surrounded by people all the time, and I was in rehearsals. And it's like on paper, you'd think that would be worse. Like, oh, you're off caffeine, and you have to go to rehearsals, and you have to go to coachings, and you have to perform, you know. But that makes it so much easier because you get so much energy from those kinds of things. Whereas
yeah.
being home alone, just grinding away on whatever, and being off like the first few days coming off caffeine is it's tough. It's been tough the last few days, but
Yeah. The other thing that makes it easier, at least for me, is because I don't drink coffee. Like it's
mm,
either the Jocko Fuels or something else kind of like that, or a Celsius or whatever. And because I know that the Celsius has 200, I'm very selective. Like what I'll do is if I'm gonna go somewhere at like 11 or whatever, I'll crack one and drink like a third of it, and then when I get back before I go to training, like I'll drink like it's in the fridge and I will sip on it when I'm like working from
okay.
home or whatever. It's not like I just sit there and I'm like, okay, here's 200 milligrams of caffeine, down it goes.
Well, that's
And
good.
so
You have a healthy relationship with caffeine. There are so many
yeah,
people that are taking in way more than that per day.
yeah,
But yeah, coffee does make it easier though.
it does
It's
because
very
people
true.
at the office will be like, oh, I'm going to grab coffee. You want any? It's like,
Yep.
no, I don't actually.
And there's a lot of caffeine in coffee, especially from
Yeah, yeah.
coffee shops. They brew it pretty strong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. So it makes it easier, like the peer pressure side. Like, oh,
Hmm.
we're going to a coffee shop. You want to come? And like
Yeah.
after work, we're going to a coffee shop, or we're going to work on whatever at a coffee shop. Like, and I can
That's
go
like
and not feel the need to get any coffee. I'll just get a water or whatever instead because I don't
hmm
really drink. I never have been in the habit of drinking coffee. I didn't really start drinking caffeine until like well after I graduated from college as well.
mm,
Maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. So that made it easier, I think, as well, because I wasn't
yeah.
going to class
Yeah,
on
yeah.
like waking up when I was 18 saying, "Oh, you know what? First thing I'm going to do is get amped up on bean juice with caffeine." And
Yeah.
then like so I never developed that part of it.
I think I started taking pre-workout when I was 18 for the gym. I didn't drink coffee until a few years later, I don't think. But pre-workout, Inno Explode was the first
Oh, dude.
yeah, it made you really itchy. Had all the beta alanine in it. And
Yeah.
man, we would take that the summer before I went to college. We would just get absolutely jacked up on Inno Explode and go to the Anytime Fitness. It's at the start of my
You're
like
gonna
yeah.
explode your heart, man.
Yeah.
I
Probably
think
not the
I had one bad experience with pre-workout. I was playing pickup volleyball and the guys knew that some of the guys they thought it would be funny because they knew I didn't really take it ever. So they popped like like 2 scoops into my water and I drank some of it and they're like, "Oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, whatever." And I drank probably like half the water bottle eventually and then I was like, "Screw you guys, man. I'm done with this." And that was one of the only times I ever took it. I was like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm good, man."
yeah, you definitely don't need no don't need two scoops. And
No,
especially
but
if you're
they
not if
thought they were funny and then I poured the rest of it out
that's
and I was
literally
like,
drugging someone. That's
"I know.
not okay.
They spiked me." And I won't say their names so the cops don't go get
Yeah, for real.
them. But yeah, I don't. For workouts, do you take them? Would you take caffeine right before workouts?
It depends. Like when I get back into taking caffeine, typically what I'll do is if I'm on a lifting day, I will drink coffee while I'm doing all my work in the morning. I usually get up at like 5:30 or 6 or so and work until early afternoon, and then go to the
Hmm.
gym. And usually I'll take like maybe a third or a half serving at most of pre-workout, 75 milligrams of caffeine or so. And that's like plenty to get me through it. And then if I go for a run, I've been running a lot more lately. I'll run 3 times a week. I never have caffeine before I run. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, it's typically just for the afternoon workouts if I feel like I want a little kick.
I drink it before games sometimes. Like kickoff will be at 5 p.m. and I'll drink it at like 3:30. There's
Mm-hmm.
a it's like the for game nutrition it's like the 4-2-1 rule. We have a big meal at 4 hours before kickoff and then 2 hours before a couple bananas and like maybe some almonds and like some quick stuff and then one
Mm-hmm.
hour caffeine before
Yeah, yeah.
kickoff.
That makes sense.
So I do stuff like that as well. But that's more I don't know. That might also be habit. I don't know if I actually need that because sometimes I don't feel the difference that much, which
Yeah.
my
No, it
wife like
sounds
will
like
be
you're pretty good on caffeine.
I try to, but then sometimes I'll catch myself consuming like into the like 200-300 milligram and I won't really feel it that much and I'm like
Mm-hmm.
that's probably not healthy either. So I don't really know.
Yeah. They say 400 is like the upper healthy limit for adults for a day.
Yeah, don't tell the military that they're amped up on 17 monsters a day.
I
It's really
believe it.
not. It's
I believe it.
really not good. Okay. Anyways, so speaking of caffeine, I'm sure caffeine helped you write all 30 of these songs for Melody
Yeah,
of War. But the last time you
definitely.
were here, you were mentioned, I think you mentioned on the show, or maybe it was right after to me, that you were starting it. Um, and I
Yeah.
was like, damn, 30 songs is wild to do everything with. And for those who have been following Peter for a while or have followed the Melody of War Instagram page, I think you're kind of borderline cast. Are you casting? I guess you are casting.
We're casting
But
right now. Yeah.
talk through talk through the process of writing 30 songs. I tried to write one time when I was like 12 and all the boy bands and it was horrible.
Nice.
Um, so you've
Nice.
written 30 and you have a subject material already laid out for you, but you have to get to 30
Hmm.
and the music that goes with it and the arranging and all the rest of the stuff. We'll get to the arranging stuff later because I'm super interested in that. But like the process, how'd you get started? Did you have everything laid out like or is it based off it's not based off a play, right? You wrote it kind of from scratch.
Sort of. Yeah. I mean, it's based off like mythological
Well, I
stories,
mean, it's
basically,
not
but
like based off a musical that already exists or something.
no, no.
Okay, so where'd you how do you even start? You're like, okay, I want to do
So,
this, and then
yeah.
first word the. It's like the SpongeBob
Yeah.
meme where they put the in fancy. Anyways, go ahead.
Exactly. End of September last year, I think we might have chatted in like October because I do think I remember mentioning it to you that I had just gotten started.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I've always loved the character Achilles and all of the surrounding mythology around him. And I've been wanting to get into writing original music. My buddy Gavin, also known as Miracle of Sound, who's a very big songwriter creator who makes original songs based on like movies or fantasy stories or whatever. He was like, you should find a character that you love and then write a song for that character. And that idea turned into, well, okay, there's already a sort of a template for this because a guy named Jorge wrote Epic the Musical, which is, a 40 song concept album based on the Odyssey. So I was like, well, what if I did that for Achilles and the Trojan War or the Iliad, which comes before the Odyssey? And that's where it started. And then I reached out to my friend Tegan because we had been collaborating on some stuff. And I just wanted to pick her brain about songwriting. And she ended up being really passionate about the project. And she actually worked with me very closely on it for the first couple months or so before she kind of went back to her solo project. And so from October 1st, I sent her a text on October 1st asking her if she wants to like give me some tips on songwriting. And from there until June, I spent about 1,200 hours in the studio alone working on these songs. And basically, the first step for writing the songs was figuring out like what parts of the story do we need to tell because like the Iliad is a great story, but it is you can tell it's written a long time ago because like there will be full pages just talking about like the lineage of some person. It's like this soldier and his father was this person and his father was this person and his father and you're like that's we're not putting that in a song. And we can't put that in a song over and over again. So it's like how do we hit the big beats? Like what is most important to the story and how do we need to maybe change it a little differently nowadays? So the first thing is like laying out the story. And then I think for the next 3 or 4 months, and this is at this point, Tegan's kind of out of the picture. It's me and I would go back and forth on like writing songs just musically that I just had in my head that I knew would be part of the story, and then going back to the other parts of the drawing board and figuring out like, okay, well, like what are the other parts I need to fill in? Like there's a gap here in the story. What's there to write a song about? So then I do more research on the history, maybe stuff that wasn't in the Iliad coming from other sources. What can I write a song about to connect these 2 points? At some point, I landed on 30 songs to be split up into 3 acts, 10 songs each. So that's where it is now. That's like solidified as the final full length version. Um, and for me, my process, because I again, Tegan was kind of in and out, and so originally she was going to do a lot of lyrical writing for the show, and I was going to do basically all the music composition and some lyrical writing. But then as she got pulled away for her solo stuff, I started being like, okay, maybe I'm gonna have to do a little bit more lyrical writing. But music for me was always like most comfortable. Like I had produced tons of electronic music with no lyrics. I had written choral music where someone else wrote the lyrics. And so doing like true songwriting where I'm writing the music and the lyrics is something I hadn't really touched before. And so um, I basically wrote music for the whole thing, like basically all 30 songs, over 2 hours of music, and then took basically 2 months after that to go back and add lyrics to everything and like make it fit perfectly. So it was like I want to say October through May was writing all the music, just in the studio writing the music, and then May and June pretty much were all first draft of lyrics and then going back through it and rewriting parts and then going back through it again with a scalpel and like changing out one word for another word and getting like really specific. Um, and that was really my process. So it was very much like, figure out what I want to write about, which is Achilles and the Trojan War. Then the next big step was figuring out how to break it down into songs and what parts of the story I want to tell, like what's worth telling. Um, and then for me, it was writing the music and then writing the lyrics at the very end.
Did you use ChatGPT to help you at all with lyrics? That question that just popped into my head. I hadn't planned on asking you
Um,
that.
yes, but I use ChatGPT more for like history stuff.
Ah, okay.
Like because I read the Iliad and I read a lot of surrounding sources and articles and stuff. But if I'm like in the middle of a session and I was like, shit, I can't remember what happens here, I'd be like, ChatGPT, like what happens between Achilles and Agamemnon in this interaction? Boom. Something I did find useful for, and maybe this is just to like have ChatGPT encourage my songwriting, is just, basically, you know, send it a line and be like, hey, is this good? Does this line sound good to you? You know, you know, is this please just tell me I'm a good songwriter, and that's a lot of what ChatGPT does anyway. So it's kind of like that. Which I'll admit, if you're alone in a studio for 9 months writing a project, it's nice to be able to just have something be like, yeah, it's awesome. You sound great. These lyrics are great. You rule. And you're like, okay, great. And I also did use it on occasion to be like, um, what are some alternative ways to say this word or like this phrase? And then it gives you a few options. You're like, okay, maybe one of those will work, maybe not. But as far as like just bulk songwriting, no.
Yeah, that's more of
It
what I meant for like I need I need to take two syllables out of this line to make it fit with the beat. Like help me do that. Yeah, yeah.
it
No, that
was
makes
it was little things like that because you could tell ChatGPT to literally you could say write me a 30 lyrics for a 30 song concept album and it would shit out hundreds of pages of lyrics at you, which is crazy and like awesome and terrifying. And I was like,
yeah.
I know that's there, but I'm not going to go down that road because I bet it's a really slippery slope when you start,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no. You
So
can't.
I very much used it as like a little tool and also like a
Yeah,
you're doing great, kid.
it will, because it'll tell you what exactly what you want to hear. Like I remember I was training a kid and he was injured and I was trying to get it like a write a program back to get him returned to sport. And I was like, "Hey, this is what I think." And they're like, "Oh, you're spot on." And I was like, "Chat, I need you to be honest with me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Would you really do that? And it was like, well, actually, I'd tweak these two things. And I was
Yeah.
like,
You
thank
have to
you.
ask it if you want it to be to be
And
brutally
that
honest with you.
is a little bit bananas. Kind of, well, unreal. I saw a headline today that the Chat GPT adult version is coming out, and I was like, oh my, no, that's not, we cannot
I
be
don't even
having
know
that.
what that means.
It so it'll be your like virtual girlfriend or whatever, and it's like, but it'll actually talk to you. And I was like, that's horrible. Like, what if it gets mixed into the other one? And like, it's really
Oh,
like, this is
bro.
not, it's really not good, man. It's really not good. Sam Altman came out, I think, and he said, for those listening, he's the founder of, or not founder, one of the founders of, he runs OpenAI right now. And he was like, "Oh yeah, we released ChatGPT 5 and I don't even know all the things it can do and it worries me." And I was like, "Why'd you release it then,
Yeah.
man?" But these people are like the mad scientist archetypes from
It's such a it's such a useful tool, but it's so dangerous. I mean, like I'll ask it questions. Um, I'll ask it stuff about it's really helpful for like if you want to like get an estimation on calories or something for the
yeah.
day. Like I use it all the time for that. I'm like, hey, I did all this X, Y, and Z exercise. I don't like wearing the fit things because I just
Hmm.
think about it too much. So I'm like, I did this many sets at the gym, and this is how long I took, and I ran this many miles at this time this morning, and this is my heart rate, and it'll spit out like, as far as I can tell, a very good estimation of like how many calories I burned. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's a great use of that tool.
Yeah.
Um, but
100%.
but like gun to my head, should we get rid of it? Absolutely. Get rid of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Just shut it all
Have
down.
yes.
Shut it all
Yes.
down
Pull the
now.
plug. Pull the
Pull the
plug.
plug.
100%.
Yeah.
I started trying to ask like Perplexity, try to like trying to use different things. Grok is actually quite funny because it's got a sense of humor, which which I find interesting. Um, Grok
Are
is
these
the
are these other
yeah,
large
Perplexity
language
is
models?
the damn, let me Google it. So Grok is the Elon's one
Okay.
that goes with X. Then there's like Copilot, which is Microsoft's one. Perplexity is it is another one. I think it might be just its own thing. Yeah, it's its own thing, I think. Um,
I didn't even realize there were more.
yeah, and then Google has one as well. And then there's these AI tools that are all over the place. But yeah, Gr- Grok is built kind of for X, which makes it funny because it's got a sense of humor,
Mm.
which is very entertaining, but also pull the plug on all of them, please.
Well,
Just
just get
like
rid of them. Get rid of
yeah,
them.
I
Yeah,
s-
like I will figure, if I have to go read more history or re-summarize what I've already read instead of ChatGPT telling me, I'll do that. If I have to go to a dictionary or a thesaurus.com instead of asking for word swaps, I'm willing to make that sacrifice.
Oh, for sure. Well,
You know?
also, I was asking it to I'm like trying to I'm considering another getting another tattoo. And so I
Mm,
was asking it to draw something and I wanted partly like American flaggy-ish in
hmm.
it, but I asked it. I was like, "Do it but without being like redneck." And it told me it couldn't because it was a symbol of right-wing extremism. And I was
No
like, yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah. I took the screenshots. I'll message them to you afterwards. I was like, really? Because
That's
it
wild.
spit out like a couple, and then I was like, hey, can you tweak this? And then it was like it figured out what it was doing, and so I asked it. I was like, why were you able to draw the other ones? And it was like, oh well, we didn't know that blah blah blah. It was very weird, very very weird. And so
That is very
I
weird.
got into a whole conversation. I was like, what policy makes you not be able to do this? And it was like, well, I can't be specific because of this and the potential
Mm,
for violence. And I was like, violence?
wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
really interesting.
that
I
was
didn't
very
even know that was
strange.
baked
And
in there.
I spent probably too much time debating chat on its own policies. I spent like 45 minutes trying to get it to tell me why it wouldn't
It'll
do it.
it'll keep giving you answers.
And
It will
it
keep.
did. Yeah. So that was very strange as well
Yeah.
because it wasn't even meant to be like the focal point. It was just
Hmm.
it goes with the other stuff that I have, so like very like naturey and like was meant
Hmm.
to go up there. And I just wanted it to be almost like kind of like a little bit of a backdrop behind some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a great question though about using GPT as a songwriter, and I know plenty of songwriters do it, And it's even integrating further into the music world now where you can prompt certain AI models to like basically create a full song for you.
Hmm.
Now it'll be done in like sampled sounds, so it won't sound totally real. But then you can just take a song that AI made and then go record it yourself with people, and then it's done. And then Spotify's putting out like AI bands and just throwing them on playlists. And then Spotify just makes more money for free and dilutes the artist population so that like it's bad. It's a really really bad look for the music industry.
Hmm.
And so I've actually gotten reached out by I've gotten like pretty great sponsorship deals for like AI music production software, and I'm like, I don't support this at all. I will not like
Wow.
I won't do a sponsorship for you.
Wow. Well, that's good. Standing on principle. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, that's mad. I remember on Rogan a few years back, people were like saying create or like re-record XY like an Eminem song, but in the style of like Blink 182 or something like that, and it would spit out.
Just spit it out. And it
Yeah,
does it. And some of them are like really like
they're
good
good. Some
covers.
some of them
Yeah,
are
they're like
good. Yeah,
really
they're
well
super
done.
good.
I heard
Um,
like a 60s soul version of 50 Cent's Mini Men pop up, and I was like, "Oh my God, like this would be a really great version."
yeah.
But it's AI, so I hate it.
Yeah, yeah. Some of the stuff is funny. Like there's a friend of mine who will watch the AI. So AI obviously can make videos as well, but it'll be AI versions of the presidents debating whatever. So like, he does this, and if you listen to this, sir, you know exactly you know exactly who you are. He'll debate like Ob AI versions of Obama, Biden, and Bush and
Oh my
Trump
oh my
debate like
gosh.
what the best version of Mario Kart is, or what the best vegetable is. And it's funny because they talk the most trash to each other. You're an idiot, Donald.
You're an idiot.
It's clearly Mario Kart 64. It's like, Brock, you're such a loser. It's clearly broccoli's the best vegetable, and it's like, oh my God.
See, the trouble is like this stuff, like AI can be so entertaining, but it's just complete mush for our
Yeah,
brains. Overall, AI
yeah,
slop. AI
yeah.
slop is what it's called.
I heard YouTube was cracking down on it though, on like AI generated content. So
You
I
do, I
don't.
mean, at least there's a box you have to select and when you upload a video, which I
Yes.
mean, which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
this AI or not? And I hope they are. I hope they crack down hard. I hope all these systems put things in place to like protect some human-made products because like I firmly believe human-made products will always have a premium. Like if there's a
hmm
lot of AI crap out there, most people will inherently care a lot less about the AI stuff than the human stuff, but they have to know what it is.
yeah,
And it's getting so good that it's really hard to tell a lot of the time.
yeah. And I check it by default. Like if I upload not for the full length episodes, but like if I upload a short and I use an Opus Clips, I use like AI B Reel
Hmm.
or B footage, B Reel. Yeah, it is B Reel. And it'll like put an image in there. It's like, yes, that's AI, but it's not. It's like a
Sort of though,
supplement.
but that's like AI edited. That's not like AI generated.
I know, but it says altered is what it says. And so by default, I just check it because I'm not trying to have my stuff taken down.
Really?
Yeah, on Instagram, let me go look actually. On
Yeah.
Instagram, it's um
Because I've used Opus clips for stuff.
Opus, so I don't use it, unless I add in B-reel footage. I don't check it. So like if there's no
Okay. So like so the B reel potentially could be AI generated
because
stuff.
I check that option and it'll like create an image for me and plop it into the thing
Sure.
rather than me going to find like some stock footage somewhere.
Yeah, it
Let's
just
see.
saves time. Okay, that makes sense then. That makes sense.
Add AI label. We require you to label certain. So Instagram is made by AI, and I think YouTube is altered by AI.
Okay.
Anyways,
That makes more sense.
yeah, I mean, but yeah. Okay, so you've gotten to the 30 songs, the three acts, with 10 songs each, which is also slightly more digestible, at least from in my brain.
Right?
Um, and so when you're creating the music, you have the genre, I would assume generally it's kind of got that like epic feel for a lot of it, and then I mean it's a musical feel, right? And so in terms of genre, it's not you're not kind of spinning the wheels trying to figure out exactly how you're going to start it in terms of what
It
direction.
it really
But
depends on the song. Like for every song, for every part of the story, I would just write whatever's music, aka whatever genre I felt would tell that part of the story best. So there's a really
mhm.
wide range in the show.
Are
So
you
there are,
doing orchestra though? Like orchestra for all of it?
yeah.
That's kind of more what I meant. It's like you're not gonna have EDM stuff and
No,
other
there was
like
no.
there are?
This is what's cool about it. So
Okay, okay.
it's modern genres, but I have a lot of like full orchestration, like basically underneath all of that. So
Ah.
like a rock song with orchestra.
Oh, that's
So
sick.
so drums, electric guitars, the whole thing you'd have in a rock band, plus like a full string section.
Okay, that's sick.
It should be
So
really cool. Yeah.
I've asked a lot of people, music people, and I asked um Tommy and Marwan this as well when they're arranging. So by the way, I need Bobby to complete to complete the
Oh,
bass
you
gig.
do, yeah. I'll
Yeah.
bug him about
Um at some point, whatever he's very busy in stairwells and stuff. Anyways, um
it.
I asked but all musicians that I have and who make and arrange music and compose music, it's like where do you start with sound? Because and the reason I started asking that question was, you know who Benny Blanco is?
No, I don't.
He was the producer behind a bunch of number one like Payphone and a lot of Ed Sheeran stuff, and
Nice.
people didn't really know who he was. And then he kind of did some interviews, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I created all these number one songs because I just in the car was going like and then I was like, I went to the studio and hit it on the synth, and then all of a sudden it's Dynamite by Taio Cruz and it's number one song." And I'm like, dude, what in the like? How do you
Yeah.
even?
Yeah.
And he was like, I didn't even know how to change the tempo on the song, which is why all of his early hits were 120 BPM. And I was like, you created number one songs and you didn't know how to change the tempo.
That's
But I'm
crazy.
like, in my head, I'm like, where is his brain even? So I ask everybody, like, where do they start when when they're composing? Like, is it just a spark of an idea, or like, do you have ideas?
Yeah. So this is where my logical brain I think actually was really helpful because I wrote that much music in a very short period of time. And there's no way to do that really if you're like waiting for inspiration every day. If you're like waiting for the idea. So, I would just come in the studio whether I had any ideas or not and just start working, and then the ideas start to come. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of creatives make is they wait for the big inspiration when like a way to galvanize or the way to create a catalyst for inspiration is to just start working, and then your brain will turn on and you'll get some cool ideas. Um, how I approached a lot of these songs was typically I would have a rough idea about what I thought the song should sound like. And this is before lyrics even. Like if I have lyrics, I can lay it down in no time because I'll read the lyrics and I'll like hear the music in my head and be like, okay, boom, we got it. Um, so that's kind of how I thought it was going to work with Tegan writing a lot of the
Hmm.
stuff, sending me the poetry and me being like, boom, okay. It turned out to be the complete other way where it was just like, I'm just going to write music that I think sounds good and then make the lyrics work, basically, write lyrics to fit it. Um, what ended up being my secret weapon was there's this great plugin called Strummed Acoustic Guitar, and basically it's an acoustic guitar, uh, essentially like a sample library where you can play chords in a bunch of different patterns just by like holding chords, on the piano, and it sounds very real. I'm gonna get my buddy George to play a lot of live guitar, but it's totally convincing. You wouldn't know it's not a live guitar. At least I wouldn't know. Um, and so I would usually end up finding chord progressions through that, only because the guitar for me was more fun to play around with than like just doing chords on the piano. And so typically I would go in, I would find a BPM, like a tempo I was thinking of for the song, and I would find the chord progression through the guitar. And the guitar inherently, because it's strumming, has some like motion to it, which might give me an idea about how I kind of want it to drive forward. Um, And usually I would go guitar, and I would usually leave that guitar in there for a while, sometimes the whole time, or I might take it out towards the end once I've filled everything else out. Um, and then once I've got the chords of like verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, chorus, if I'm doing like a standard song, a bunch of the arrangements are non-standard, but for like a standard song, um, then I would just start fleshing stuff out with like piano here, bass here, strings here, brass here, other cool sound effects here, drums, like whatever. And then just like fill things out as I go. I pretty much always have choir in there. I always have strings in there. Um, but for me, like the just getting it started was like I have an idea for the song. I have an idea for how I want it to kind of feel. Throw on the guitar plugin, find the chord progression I like, and then basically start adding stuff from there.
That makes sense. And then you just kind of just tweak as you go, like, oh, this,
Tweak as you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah, and then some things have to change when the lyrics come up. You might find a dynamite lyric that doesn't quite work with something you did musically, so you might have to change a little thing.
Hmm.
But more often I've found like if you write really compelling music, um, it's not super hard to write lyrics to it.
That makes sense.
If you know what the song's about, right? So if I'm writing about um like one big song in Act Two, for example, is like the kings from or the basically the royals from Troy and the royals from Greece coming together to negotiate terms, which doesn't go well, and then they end up going, back to war basically. But like something like that, you come together with that kind of idea, and you have the music for it, and you already know that part of the story. And so if you have the music and you know the part of the story you're writing about, the lyrics come pretty the lyrics come pretty naturally. You just turn it into conversation basically between all the characters.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot, or I hadn't considered that part where because you're pulling from the Iliad and from other sources, you actually there's dialogue that exists that you can pull from
Yeah, or
that.
get inspired by. Like
Hmm.
there's there like I don't think I used any like direct lines of dialogue from the story. Also like the language is different.
Hmm.
Like obviously it wasn't written in English originally, and then even the way they speak is very different than how we speak. So I do write in a kind of mythic poetic way for a lot of the show. Um, but it's still much more modern feeling than, thousands of
Yeah,
years BC.
yeah. One thing I noticed about the evolution of language was I was reading this book called The Founding Partisans by H.W. Brands, who has been on the show before. For he's a
Hmm,
history professor at University of Texas at Austin, I think, if I recall correctly.
cool.
And a lot of that book is quotes from writings from like the founding fathers. And it's so hard to get through because every quote is like filled with big words and is
Yeah.
packed with so much meaning. And it's like, I'm really interested in what they're saying, but I cannot for the life of me get through the book. And then,
It's like trying to read a legal document.
yeah, exactly. And then I saw another tweet, um, or I saw another thing where it was like letters from war from soldiers in like 1917 are so much more eloquent than our tweets today. It's like, yeah, man, things have changed, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, true.
um, but so okay, so as you're going through, I guess actually let me ask you this question. So what's the final sort of thing gonna be? Because and if you want to go through more of like the casting and the other stuff before we get to that, but in my head it's like, okay, cool, you're making 30 songs. Are you just gonna put them
Hmm.
out as songs or like what's the end goal?
Yeah. The goal number one, this is the current plan for the show is so release all three acts over the course of probably I'm aiming for May to September next year. There's so much to do to get it
Hmm.
ready before then, but May to September. And in addition to releasing the audio to all the streaming services, I'm also going to have visual accompaniment for a release to YouTube for everything.
Mm.
Um, the and it will be some kind of if I had the budget for it, I would do animation like animatics for the whole thing, but it's crazy, crazy expensive, like
Hey, people,
insane.
go to his Patreon
And
and help him out.
I will be doing a kick. I will for sure be doing a Kickstarter because even not doing that, it's a very costly project, and you see that GIF of like the guys from Fairly Odd Parents shoveling money into the furnace. That's
Yeah.
what it feels like every day, but it's got to be totally worth it. So, visual accompaniment, it will probably end up looking something like really elegant lyric videos with a bunch of hand-drawn illustrations depicting what's happening in the story
Oh,
throughout
that's sick.
realistically. And then if the project goes well and if it really pops off, no doubt. I mean, already, Eric, already people are making like Fanomatic stuff. Like they're taking little clips from the demos I'm posting and making their own little animated shorts. So like
I've seen a
if
couple, yeah.
yeah, so it's so like nothing makes me happier. That is so cool to me. But assuming the project goes well and there's a lot of people listening, like in the year following releases, there's going to be a handful of animatics for every song that I'll be able to compile and put together as like the official whatever, or use the funds from it to then actually make a full 2 hour animated version of it. So all those things are possible. But right now it's like, what's the most bang for my buck? Because I want to put like I want to make sure that I'm not taking any money away from the audio side towards the visual side because the music's the number one priority. But I want visuals to accompany it that really elevate the story. And I've already field tested this idea with like really cool looking lyric videos with hand drawn illustrations, and it's awesome. Super, super, super cool. And for the audio side, I mean, I'm going to be hiring live drummers, live string players that have full orchestra capabilities, like can play basically the entire string section of an orchestra,
That's
live brass
sick.
players. I even hired a professional sound effects guy for one of the songs to like really perfectly capture the atmosphere, like really what it would be like to be in this particular part of the story. So like hiring professional mixing and mastering engineers, like going all in there. And I would still consider this going as all in as I can on visuals too. It's just a step down from what I would do if I had $250,000 to
Yeah.
spend on it.
Yeah, it's-
And that's not an exaggeration.
No, no, no. But yeah. Oh, that sounds amazing. That sounds amazing.
Thanks, man.
I'm super excited when to see the full release when it comes, of course. But I mean, the amount of work and just I mean, you and I have talked a few times, and obviously you've been releasing demos and stuff. But just the amount of work and consistency for a payoff, like It's tough to work for 2 years, I guess it'll be, or almost two
Yeah,
years.
it'll be
Um,
almost 2 years by the time Act One comes out. Yeah.
yeah, with like there's not a lot of payoff at the moment. And
No,
you're like it's
nothing really.
tough. It's tough. I can I mean it's sick anyways. Okay. Okay, so casting. I wanted to ask about casting. I saw
Yeah.
our mutual friend Jen Glatzofer in one or two of these.
Hmm.
But what's so I guess I don't really have a question. I guess I'll just, how are you doing casting?
Yeah.
What's kind of the idea for that? You've got obviously a lot of different parts in the story, a lot of different people. I saw you're looking for a narrator as well and a few other things
Hmm.
here and there. What's the what's the vision?
Yeah. There are tons of roles in the show. I think there's 47 named characters in the show, and a lot of them are small parts. So Jen and Zach are the two demo vocalists, so they're singing in the demos in places where I can't sing or think their voices would work better. Um, I'm singing Achilles in the show. Um, I'm sure Zach and Jen will both end up with roles of some kind. I mean, they're phenomenal singers, and
Yeah.
they've been such a great help, and they want to be a part of the show. So like, they'll have roles. I don't know what they'll do, but they'll have roles. And like I mean, my whole network is filled with professional level singers of all different genres. So like, I could cast the whole show with just my network, and
Yeah.
that was a really tempting thing for me to do. But I also love the idea of finding people that don't have any kind of following whatsoever, who are just like coming out of the woodwork and like showing new talents to the world. And like this is the kind of thing where like if the project goes well, it can launch careers. I mean, that's what Epic the Musical did for everyone in that cast, basically.
Yeah.
Anyone that didn't already have something going, they have something going now in a big way. And I love the idea of that. And also, there are so many small roles that I think there's so many roles to be filled. I think a number of people that I just find randomly on, TikTok and Instagram will be able to fill some of those roles. I would not be surprised. This isn't nothing set in stone yet, but I would not be surprised if, a chunk of the bigger roles end up going to some of my colleagues because A, it's like I've worked with them before, so I know they're reliable, potentially decades of professional singing experience. They all have like home recording studios. I mean, these are all like huge green lights for people in a virtual project, right? So,
Yeah.
would it be surprising if Bobby or Big Brev end up in a role? No, that would not be surprising, right? It would be like it'd be stupid not to use those resources. But I'm very, very serious about trying to cast a good chunk of the show from the open auditions. And right now, all the auditions for Act One are up and available. There's like a Google Drive folder I have set up, super organized, so people can go and get the files they need to audition for stuff. Um, Hundreds have come in, hundreds of auditions have
Oh, that's
already come in,
amazing.
which is really cool. Um, what I'm probably going to do soon to get even more people involved uh, is just say, hey, sing a clip of you singing whatever you want on TikTok or Instagram and tag me in it. Like do whatever shows off your voice best. And like if you sound amazing, I'll just like push you through to a callback and be like, these few roles would work. Because that just takes all the work out of their side. Like right now, you've got to go and you've got to get the instrumental track and you've got to sing along with it and post it, or you've got to go do it and then email it to me. It's all very easy to do, but just like you and I both know, like to get people to actually do something or to like go away from the app to do something is like you got to have a gun to their head,
Yeah.
or to get them to
Yeah.
click a link to go away from the app, you got to have a gun to their head, basically. So like if I can just say, hey, literally record yourself right now on your phone singing whatever makes you sound good and post that and tag me, I think that'll get a ton of people involved and a ton of really good singers who may have otherwise been like, like we'll see how the project turns out, but I'm not going to audition.
Yeah.
So I think that's coming soon. I think that's coming soon.
I feel that for sure, but at the same time, you want somebody who's willing to do that as like it's kind of a show of reliability and what they have if they're willing to like make the extra 3 clicks as like as little as that sounds. But
It certainly shows a little bit of passion for,
yeah.
but I'm
Um
leaving that. I'm leaving that option open right now. I have the
mm,
content recorded. I just haven't shared it yet. But it's like, hey, new way to submit. You can either just post a video of you singing, or if you know which roles you're really interested in, you can do what we've previously been doing, basically. So that
okay.
option's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
there. Or if it's people just like, hey, I don't really know, but I can sing, I'll give it a shot. And that'll also, I mean, the more people posting about it also is like just more awareness for the project
Yeah.
itself.
Dude, I love that you're doing that in terms of the open auditions because I mean, well, you and I both, or maybe I'm still there, but at some point you were also in the single digit thousands of followers and
Yeah.
just looking to start stuff. And now the fact that you're on, what are you at, like 360 now or something like that? Something?
On YouTube is like
Yeah.
365.
Yeah. So like now the
Yeah.
fact that you're there and you're able to maybe help the next kind of batch of people
Hmm.
into something is super cool because there's a real kind of market there for the online scene, whether it's the stairwell or the acapella
Hmm.
or just other collaborations generally. There's a whole music scene that's not that I think you're part of that's been created
Yeah.
like completely outside of traditional production and studios and all these other
Hmm.
things. And that's super cool. And for a while, my wife would be like, "Where do you find all these people?" And I'm like, "I spend too much time on the internet, and I'm very sorry for that. Maybe I should spend more time with you." But also, do you like this song? It's like, um, but it's been super cool. So that's cool to see as well. Yeah, I mean, I'll be super interested to see like what comes out of that, just out of
Me,
my own
me too.
curiosity
Me
and
too. I mean, the people open auditioning have their work cut out for them. Because, like I said, when you're working with people like Brev and Bobby and
yeah,
Jennifer, these people all the time, it's like these people are gonna have to they're gonna have to bring it. They're gonna have to
yeah,
step up, which I
yeah.
think is exciting. I think it'll happen. I think I'm gonna get my mind blown by a number of people I've never heard of before, and that's
Hmm.
that's an exciting thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was
Okay.
one. There was one.
Yeah.
I won't name it because I don't want to like play favorites here. But there was one that popped up the other day. But I was like, oh. Oh, okay. This person could be in the cast for sure. And that was really, really exciting.
Wow, 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 that's awesome. You should send it to me afterwards, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
That'd be sick. Is there anything else you want to mention on this?
Um, no, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's by far the biggest thing I've ever done, and it's also the thing I am most passionate about in the world. I mean, I spend every moment of free time is dedicated towards this project now, and it will require that for the next 7 months to make sure that Act One releases properly. So all my money, all my time, and attention and care is going to this thing. It's awesome. Check it out, Melody of War musical,
It's
and
on
yeah, we'll
you
see you
got
in
it's
seven.
got its own Instagram and stuff as well,
Yep,
right? So people can go
Instagram,
check that out.
TikTok, website is there,
Okay.
and it's all Melody of War musical. I think the only thing that's not is I'm doing the music stuff through my personal YouTube channel. And then the Patreon, I think, is just Melody of War.
Okay. Perfect, perfect. Links will be down in the description, of course, as always. Um, let's talk about the Bass Singer Academy. You guys launched that. It
Yeah.
kind of seemed, I don't know if it was a soft launch or not. I mean, you guys definitely launched it. And then I saw a little bit, and then I was kind of off in my own world again. But I wanted to touch on, so what's the plan with that, or the vision there?
Yeah, Big Brev. Well, I had the idea of starting a vocal course for bass singers, and then when I was getting ready to start, like I'd already been doing like some research for it, and like a week into that, Brev texts me this long message, but it's kind of like vague and mysterious, and I was like, dude, are you also thinking of starting an online course for bass singers? And then we, and he was, yes, he was, and so we got on the phone and chatted for like 45 minutes about it. And decided to go through with it. So his wife Jen is like the big logistical master of everything, like got the school community set up, and she handles like all the payments and stuff like that. And Brev and I just went through and recorded like a bunch of lessons um, for all kinds of stuff that we think would be useful. Trying like after talking to a bunch of young bass singers on their pain points and like what they want to get better at, made like a whole online course to you go through step by step, work on your resonance, work on your technique, work on subharmonics, work on other extended techniques and stuff. And we're adding to it too. We're actually about to go to a new phase of adding a lot more lessons to it that people have been recommending. Once a month, we bring on either someone like a Bobby to come do like a Q&A with everyone, or bring on like a proper expert. Like we brought on a guy named Tu Yang, who's like a subharmonics expert, and he did like a whole presentation and workshop on subharmonics. And it's a yearly membership to the academy, so you pay per year and get access for the year, and then you can sign on again later. We got a pretty, I think we got like 50 folks in there so far, which is really cool.
Yeah.
We haven't really, we're about to also record a lot more promo stuff for. We basically only put out one promo video together. Brev's been doing a lot of like, hey, do you want to sing bass? Like, come join this thing. But um, we're gonna do like actual proper like targeted promo soon to get more people over there. And we hope it helps. I mean, it's, we've both been singing bass professionally for like a decade now. So we're trying to, and it is the only course specifically for bass singers out there, as far as I know.
Huh.
So
So for people listening that have, you're like, oh yeah, we've got lessons, and they're like, what do you mean lessons for singing? Like, what, like, describe what that is.
yeah, so I do a tutorial where I teach people how to do a technique called a chest fry, which is like
Hmm.
my it's like this the extended technique I am notoriously good at in the bass community. It's basically like an extension of your chest voice down into your vocal fry register and keeping it really resonant. So I go through like a bunch of exercises to strengthen that, and then examples of like how to apply it to songs you're singing, or like how to use it in like a choir setting.
Mm.
Brev has done the same thing with subharmonics. I did lessons on vocal health and resonance, and Brev has a course a lesson on registration, which is like dealing with your what are called passaggi or breaks in your voice, and then dealing with like how to get up into your falsetto, all kinds of stuff. So stuff like that. So it's not one-on-one lessons like you and I having a lesson here. It's like pre-recorded
Ah, okay.
lessons that they can go through. Yeah.
Gotcha, gotcha. I remember we were talking in terms of like projection and stuff. We were talking before because the opera piece is like you have
Hmm.
no microphone, so you have to you would be a good person to teach somebody how to do that
I know a lot about resonance.
without killing your vocal
Yes.
cords.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's for sure. That's awesome though. I mean, it sounds relatively straightforward. I guess I'll put the link to that in the description if people are interested
It's pretty
as
straightforward.
well.
Yeah, you get a year membership and you get access to a ton of lessons from two bases who really know what they're doing and are doing it and have done it. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Let's see, what else do we have to talk about? Oh, you mentioned Bass Gang. You guys have got more
Base
stuff coming up?
gang. Yeah, we have so first, I don't know when this episode's coming out, but we have a Halloween cover of Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Oh, dude, I love that song.
Yeah. It's sick. It's Marwan's arrangement. I think it's one of his best. It's
Oh,
spooky
one of his
and
best. He's already done so many good
it's
things.
spooky and bassy. And I'm going to be shooting the video for it tonight, like after we get off this call. And that comes out, I believe, on October 24th. So a week
Let's
before
see, hold
Halloween.
on. So this will be out the 20th. So it'll be out on Friday if you're listening on
Okay,
release day.
sick. Yeah. The premiere will hopefully already be set. You can go check out the Bass Gang channel. And then what else do we have going on? Then, well, the next really big thing we're doing is we are getting together in Egypt in February.
Oh
And
yeah, I
and
think
we're
one of them mentioned that on one of the
cool.
other episodes.
We were gonna do it in October, but there was no way we were gonna get ready in time because we're gonna shoot music videos for our fifth EP over there, and we had no chance to get those ready in time. Clearly, we're barely getting Halloween ready by Halloween. So we're doing it in February. We're already all working on our arrangements for that fifth EP. And so yeah, we're gonna be in Egypt for we don't have tickets yet, but we've got like a pretty solid plan.
Yeah.
You know, professional film crews shooting locations for 3 weeks in Egypt.
Have you been before?
No.
I've
And
not
none of
either.
us have met Marwan.
Oh, that's right. I forgot
He's
because
the
he wasn't
one.
able to go the last time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll be great fun, I'm sure, for everyone.
Yeah.
Um,
Very excited.
can you tell us the subject of the EP or that's still under wraps?
No, that's
All
still
right,
under
all right,
wraps.
all right,
Yeah.
all right. Sounds good. Sounds good. I've heard great things about Egypt in terms of like if you go see the pyramids is kind of just awe-inspiring in a
Hmm.
very weird way. Um,
We're gonna check out the new museum over there in Cairo, which is apparently like the world's greatest museum ever made about Egyptian culture
interesting,
and history and stuff. Yeah.
interesting. Did you see
There we go.
there's a lot of interesting stuff going on with the pyramids recently where I think
I'm
Rogan's had
hip.
some people on and
I'm hip to it because my brother has been into that stuff for like 6 or 7 years now, like the ancient technology kind of stuff.
yeah.
And it's fascinating. I've read a few books on it. I've watched a number of lectures on it, and man, there's some cool research coming out.
It seems like there's something there. Like it's not all conspiracy kooky
I,
whatever.
dude, we're not gonna get into it now because it'd be a long conversation. It's I don't know. I can't speak too much about the that particular one, but there's
Uh-huh.
so much stuff all over the world that it's like history needs to be rewritten
Well,
in a big way.
when do you have to get out of here? Because we could go at that for a little while at least.
I like realistically like 15 or 20 minutes because I got to set up for this video shoot.
Okay, well, I mean, we could go that for the next tw I mean, do you have any other things that you want to talk about projects wise?
Um, Not really. That was most of
All right. Well, pyramids.
it. Okay, well, um, for example, there are like stone formations, for example, in like South America, where the rocks themselves are so big and so heavy, we do not today have the equipment that could move them anywhere. And they are clearly cut and placed there from like thousands of miles away, like where the rocks don't even exist in the places where they are. And they're cut in a way. My brother's actually visited this a couple of these sites. They're cut in a way where it looks like these rocks are like molded together. Like you can't even put like a piece of paper between these
Hmm.
200-ton rocks. And literally, our equipment today cannot even like move one of them. And you're like, okay, well, something crazy is going on.
Yeah.
That's
Has
like
to be.
one of a million examples.
Yeah. Have you seen like the vases that they found in Egypt? Like
The
the
that are where their density is like basically diamond level or almost
yeah,
diamond level, and
that
it's
and the symmetric like how symmetrical they are. It's like within I think the width of a human hair or something like that, something crazy like that.
yeah,
And
and our
then
technology today could not do it. We could not reproduce.
no,
We cannot reproduce these urns.
no. And then there's other stuff as far as like erosion on the Sphinx and
Yeah.
things of that nature where you kind of it just like the thing that's weird to me is why I don't know if you watch this, but do you are you familiar with Graham Hancock?
Yeah, I read his book, America Before.
Yeah. So did you watch when he went to go debate Flint Dibble on Rogan's?
I have not. My brothers watched that debate, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. I have
So
not watched it.
that it's like why I just don't understand like how there's not more in like if you got into this field because you're interested in what happened in the past and then there's new information presented, why are you not being like, "Oh, that's cool. I want to go like figure more about this."
Yeah.
Instead, it's like, "No, you're wrong." It's like I don't it doesn't compute in my head
Yeah.
like there's some amazing things going around. Like, so for example, the pyramid, the energy creation piece, I guess there's a certain dimension in some of the chambers where the frequency of sound could create, like, react with something or whatever.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't remember. I don't
some
remember
interesting stuff
exactly.
about theories about how the sound could help them shape or move objects or
Yeah, or
um
energy creation more generally. Like, there's a. Let me Google the guy's name. Anyways, keep going while I Google his name. I think it's Christopher Nolan, maybe. I
well
don't know. He has like a power plant theory.
yeah, it's this unfortunate thing where like the scientific method itself is perfect for like it's how we all go through life trying to figure stuff out. You think of an idea and then you test it. And either it works or it doesn't, and then you change it, and then you test it again, and then it works. And that's basically the scientific method. That works. But
Hmm.
you have scientists themselves that are really protective over research they've done or over a certain narrative or tradition of history that they don't want corrupted because then that, I don't know, maybe makes their research look foolish or just takes away their credibility when it doesn't at all. Like we're finding new information every day and I'm totally with you. Like if you go into that field, you'd think it'd be the most exciting thing in the world for everyone working on that stuff, but you have so many people who are like just won't even hear it. They're just
Yeah.
like, nope, we know everything now, and nothing new is going to change our minds. It's like, well, that's not very scientific of you, is it?
Yeah. Yeah. Christopher
Right.
Dunn was the guy that had the power plant theory. And I remember, I think he's an engineer or comes from an engineering background. So he had some, in terms of like how things were structured and how the chemical reaction or whatever
Dude,
it
I
was
just
that
had a
would be.
great idea. Do you
Yeah.
want,
Yeah.
you should talk to my brother for the
Sure.
podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll do it. I'm down. I'm down. I'll have to brush up on all my, on all my episodes, but I'm totally down.
He will take you in and the thing is my brother is such I call him like a mad genius because he's so goofy and all over the place. He's like the best guy in the world. He's my best friend. But like he has remembered everything he's learned about this stuff. Like he has
Dude.
got all the numbers and all the stats and all the locations and all of it. And it's really fun to get him going about it. So I think you guys should do that.
We should definitely do that. I'd be happy to give him a
Okay.
provocative statement at the beginning and be like, dude, I can't believe Graham Hancock was wrong. And just off he goes. That would
Yeah,
be amazing. Yeah,
just
yeah, I
bait him
would.
into it.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
All right,
Absolutely, for sure.
I'll text him.
Let's see. I don't
So
even know. Let's see. What else? I don't even know. Well, I guess we could wrap. This feels like a fairly natural wrapping point, but um, so links will go down in the description for everyone listening. Do you have other thoughts, kind of things that we haven't talked about or anything?
um
Or
let me think. We covered Melody of War and Base Junior Academy and Base Gang and
oh, your podcast. How's that going?
good episode every 2 weeks. Just trucking along. Yeah, I talked to a guy named Andy Darris a few weeks ago, and he's the lead singer of this German power metal band called Halloween, and they've been around
That's a
for like
clever name. I like that.
yeah, they've been around for like almost 50 years. They were like they've headlined with Iron Maiden.
Oh,
Some of his stories from tour were absolutely nuts. Um, Such a cool dude. Just like it's cool to talk to someone so legit. Like this dude is a legit 80s rocker. who's still
That's
going.
awesome.
Yeah, Rachel Hardy came on recently. If you know Rachel Hardy,
Mm-mm.
she's a big composer and YouTuber singer. She's great. Yeah, but I mean, every 2 weeks, I'm still trying to nail down Avi Kaplan. That's still the white whale
Yeah,
that needs to happen.
that would be, I mean, that would be amazing. His journey and story and
Yeah, he's
the
he is
performances.
the most requested guest for my podcast. So,
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it has to be. Also, people are like, I mean, I think he's definitely within reach, I would say, of
oh,
you
he
based
is.
on who you've had on before. There's always people like when yeah, actually I'll tell you offline. Never mind.
Yeah, because
Um,
Avi he was under his label who didn't want him to do podcasts or interviews for a while, but he's not with them anymore. I've met Avi in person, so we're on a at least a friendly basis.
mhm.
Bobby and Big Brav are both like actually friends with him, and could reach out. Bobby's reached out before, and Avi said he's totally down, but he's like he's often on tour or in the studio or so.
Yeah.
We'll line it up. We'll line it up sometime.
All right, sounds good. Well, I guess I mean, we could wrap there. That's good. For people
Yeah.
listening, stay tuned. Go check the links out in the description. Fingers crossed you get Avion at some point in the near
Yeah.
future.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. All right, this is the most awkward ending I've ever done. Thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Thanks for tuning in to the World XP podcast. If you want to watch another episode like this one, click there. If you want to subscribe, click there.